What's going on, guys? It's Berserk here, and oh my god, do we have some juicy news today. And before we get into it, I just want to say thank you for watching the video, and if it doesn't hurt too much, I want you guys to just like and subscribe. It really helps my videos get out there. And I'm sorry for everyone who's watched my videos before and see that I'm posting Overwatch now, but yeah, anyway, let's get into the news. First off, a surprise from Boston Uprising, which, my god, guys, I want to talk about this trade deal. Boston traded Note for RCK for the Dallas Fuel, and we've seen RCK, we've seen how good he is. We've also seen how amazing Note is. He's a top 3 off tank, and he's just absolutely top tier. Now, King Michael on Twitter did say that this was a steal for Dallas because of Notes being, the top 3 off tanks. However, I do think that this was a pretty strong pickup from Boston. Now, we've seen how good Note is on that D.Va. However, have you seen RCK on that Sombra? That Sombra is really what's impressing me about RCK. But honestly, for me, it doesn't feel like they traded him for that. I feel like they traded him just so he could, Note was getting too good. Note was getting too good, so they traded him so they didn't have to pay too much. And this, of course, harkens back to this beautiful Twitter post by Monte Cristo, in where he says, if he proves himself to be good, he won't last long. Of course, following the trends of this was regarding to Blase. Actually, this was regarding to Blase, and he was talking about if Blase was good, he's gonna get traded, because we've seen this before happen, to Boston. They have a fucking track record of doing this. We saw it with Gamsu, then we saw it with Striker, and now we're seeing it with Note. It's just an excuse to pay less money. And speaking of which, they just signed another off Flex Heal. They signed Persia. He's from Pacific Contenders. He won in Pacific Contenders, like first place. He won first place in Pacific Contenders, but however, is another cheap tactic to get. I just really overall have a really bad taste in my mouth for the whole Boston organization, and it's just like they have this. Sometimes they can pay off. As we saw that kind of with Color Hex, we see it kind of with Alemao, but I mean, they're not up to par with the rest of the league. In other news, Dallas, well, of course, aside from getting Note, they took a big hit today where they lost Coco. Coco has decided to quit his assistant coach position. And as you know, last year, he was the main tank for Dallas Fuel. And now he just, he's gone. And, it's a farewell to an icon, an absolute icon. I just want, I want you in the comment sections to 21 nut salute for Coco. Hashtag 21 nut salute. Atlanta. This one's interesting. They added a new player, Baby Bay from the San Francisco Shock. Well, after the big hit of Defran, which was a big popularity horse, they needed to bring in someone who was popular and a DPS player, and where better to get just a surplus of DPS players? Of course, San Francisco Shock, which has a staggering 5 DPS. I mean, come on. And they only play Rascal and fucking Sinatra. Come on. But I mean, it's past April Fools, and Defran's not in the roster anymore. Still kind of hurts, but it also sucks that Atlanta still doesn't have a Zarya main. I mean, in my opinion, Nyalier is pretty amazing, and the DPS that they have already is pretty good, but it's really great to have Baby Bay in there. not just for popularity, but also he's an amazing player. But I don't think that he's gonna like put too much in this meta, even though we're because we're still playing goats. We're still playing goats in stage 2. I'm afraid to say it, but we're still playing goats, and that's another reason why. Another thing I wanted to mention about this note and another thing I wanted to note about this note and RCK deal is that this is really, really good for the short term of Dallas Fuel because they can play RCK on that Sombra. However, it is really, really good for Dallas in the long run because Note's off-tank abilities are amazing. His off-tank capabilities, we've all seen them. We know how good he is. When the meta shifts away from this goats meta, as we all know, stage 2 is going to be filled with goats. Note is going to be much, much better. However, right now, RCK is going to look better. Houston just signed a new main tank, a backup tank, Ryosuke, which I'm super excited to watch him play. You know, he was absolutely amazing when I first saw him play, and it's super cool to watch him finally play against his rival BB from the NYXL. And you know, it's just overall absolutely amazing news. Washington lost one of their coaches, Obasil, which, I mean, after the mega brain that, you know, Wizards Young has, you know, who could have expected this to happen? You know, Washington not looking much better, even though they just signed Arc. He's amazing heals, but I mean, like, I don't think it's gonna do so much right now. And Toronto just lost Don, one of their coaches, which really sucks for them. However, I feel like they're gonna bounce back from this. I feel like they're pretty good, and you know, it's like, I'm excited for this stage. I'm like really, really excited. But however, I do believe we're gonna be playing more goats because we were watching, my friends and I were watching the Get Good tournament, and they were playing all goats. They were still just playing all goats, which was really disheartening to see. Which is, you know, it's a big sign of to see of what they're gonna play in Overwatch League. And man, I hate to say it, but it's more goats. Anyway, tune in tomorrow or another day when I feel like it. I'm gonna go into power rankings before stage 2 starts. I'm gonna go into power rankings before stage 2 starts because I do have some interesting movements that I want to point out. All right, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.